Syrian-occupied Golan on Monday reiterated rejection of the Israeli occupation's decision on annexing the Golan as null and void. In a statement on the 33rd anniversary of the Israeli decision, people of the Golan affirmed their adherence to their Syrian Arab identity, asserting that the Israeli decision is illegal and not worth the ink it is written with. They expressed rejection of the Israeli attempt to divide the Golan and to sow sedition among its people, asserting that the Zionist entity is working on supporting terrorists and paving the way for them to target the Syrian Arab army and to establish a buffer zone in the Golan with the aim of usurping it from the homeland. They also hailed the sacrifices of the Syrian Arab army in defending the homeland against the armed terrorist organization. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation asserted that developing relations among states is only possible if it was based on equality and respect, confirming that any attempt to pressure Russia would be futile. This came in a statement on Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry in Rome yesterday, adding that opinions have been exchanged on international issues such as the Syrian crisis, the Iranian nuclear file, and Palestine and Israel talks. The ministry pointed out that the two ministers asserted the importance of consistency with the Minsk agreement and earlier convocation of the contact group concerning the situation in the southeastern Ukraine. In Daraa, Syrian Arab army units killed a number of terrorists and injured others in Kiev, post office, and Atman town in the province's countryside. Another army unit eliminated most members of a terrorist group that attempted to sneak across the road between Atman and Tapas in Daraa's countryside. In Damascus countryside, army units targeted terrorist hideouts in the areas of Ain Kerma, Kafar Batna, and Al Mleha, killing and injuring a number of them and destroying their weapons and vehicles. Sudanese and Palestinian terrorists were identified among them. Meanwhile, army units clashed with terrorists in Ziddin village, east of Al Mleha, killing and injuring a number of them. In Deir ez-Zor, the army destroyed ISIS hideouts in Hawija Sakal, killed a number of them, and continued pursuing terrorists near Deir ez-Zor airport. Gunmen held hostages inside a cafe in Sydney and raised a black flag that resembles the ISIS flag. Media sources said that the gunmen took 40 people as hostages at Lynn's Cafe at Martin Square. This incident took place minutes after the police announced arresting a man in Sydney for terrorism charges in light of the ongoing interrogations on a terrorist plan in Australia and facilitating the travel of Australian citizens to Syria to join the extremist groups. The Lebanese army fought terrorist infiltration attempts into Baalbek from Jarud Arsal area after clashing with them in Sirjil Diverse area. The Lebanese army sent military reinforcement to the area, used artillery to repel the terrorists, and track them in the region. French police discovered and dismantled a terrorist network in Toulouse area that recruits terrorists for sending them to Syria in the name of jihad. French counter-terrorism forces carried out operations in 10 areas in various districts. French authorities, including the Interior Minister, admit that since January, the number of French citizens joining terrorist organizations in Syria and Iraq has risen by 80%. Official sources in France confirm that more than 400 French terrorists are currently present in Syria, while additional 200 are preparing to head to Syria. In Iraq, clashes continue between Iraqi armed forces and ISIS terrorists in Salah ad-Din Governorate, al-Ramadi, and parts of al-Ishaqi area south of Tikrit. Sources in the governorate confirm that Iraqi armed forces are preparing to launch a military operation to squash the remaining ISIS terrorists in southern Balad area. In Amirli, south of Tikrit, 5 ISIS terrorists have been killed and over 28 others were injured in fierce confrontations therein. Meanwhile, the U.S.-led coalition launched airstrikes against ISIS terrorists in Kirkuk, killing 12 of them. In yet another step to silence opposition figures, Turkish police forces have stormed the headquarters of Al-Zaman Turkish newspaper, arresting its editor-in-chief Ekrem Dumanli. AFP reported that Dumanli was among 26 others detained during police raids in 13 Turkish cities, including Istanbul. Turkish police ignored the crowd of people who were protesting against the police campaign before the headquarters of the paper.